welcome to my videos. On my videos we talk about strange talk, stuff that's happened through the years to me, stuff that's happened to my family, stories that's been told to me, and just strange encounters. We do conspiracy theories, and today I decided that I would tell the story of my son's Bigfoot. But first, if y'all hear any dogs running in and out of the camera or see them or hear them, I have 4 dogs in the house and they bark for no reason. I don't know, but nothing I can do about it. And if you have trouble understanding me, it's my Tennessee drawl. I can't do nothing about it. And some of my other videos look really bad because I did not have good lighting. Made me look like I had big circles under my eyes, but nothing I could do about that. Okay, so let's get started. This story is my son's Bigfoot. Well, we moved into a house and it was way back in the country. It was tied in with the national forest. Like it bumped right up to the national forest, and it had about maybe 10 acres to it. Well, on this property, the man that owned it, he loved apple trees. So we had apple trees all over that property. We had cherry trees. I think we might even had a peach tree. And on that property also, we had a pond. Well, the house kind of set off in the valley. And then behind the house, there was the apple orchard. We had an apple orchard there. It was fenced in. And then beyond that, we had a pond. And then on the left side, there was a fence. And you would go through that gate. And there was a little road that went up, and then it would come down at an angle, and there's that old tobacco barn. And as you was walking that road, there was a bunch of apple trees. So there was a lot of fruit on this property. And then I had 2 sons. Well, I have 2 sons. And they're twins, and they would get out, and they'd walk the property, and they said, "Mama, there's caves down here." So me and my husband, we walked down and we seen a couple caves, and there was a lot of stuff on that property. It was a pretty neat property. Well, we moved in and the house needed a little work. We had to paint it, and we did a bunch of stuff to this house. Well, the first night we was living there, my son come in, he's like, "Mama, you got to come out and hear this." So on the front porch, it was a built-in front porch. It had windows, so once you walked out the door, you was still in another room. But it was actually the porch, and you could see all the property through the windows. Well, as soon as I walked out on the front porch, I could hear coyotes. And this was a lot of coyotes. I've never heard this many coyotes, and it was loud. It scared me. Well, I told my son, I was like, "Well, I'm going back in." So I went ahead and went back in the house, and my one son would get up every day, and he would go fishing and hunting, whatever, he could get himself into on weekends. And so the one morning, he got up early. We was all still asleep. He got up real early, and he decided he was going to go hunting. He grabbed a 22. He grabbed a bunch of shells, and he decided that he was going to go over the fence, go down through to the apple orchard, and go hunting down in there and see what he could kill. He thought maybe he could get him some squirrels. Well, early morning, he was walking down through there, and we had a truck, old truck that broke down years ago, and we had pulled it down there by the barn. Well, just before he got to the barn, he seen something peeking out. Like the front of the truck was right here, and there was something behind it, and it was peeking out. He said it was kind of sticking its head out and looking at him. And he said his first thought was coyote. He thought, "There's a coyote right there." So he loaded his gun, and he was getting ready to shoot at the thing if the thing stepped out or walked out. Well, he said just as he was looking through his scope, this thing stepped out. And he said it was on 2 feet, and it just walked out. Well, my son's heard stories about Bigfoots through the years, so he immediately thought, this is Bigfoot. But he said, "Mama, when it stepped out," he said it turned and looked back towards the barn, and then looked at him, and then looked back towards the barn, and then looked at him. So my son said that he thought that maybe this creature had a baby or a mate or something in the barn that he did not want him to see. Excuse me, that he did not want him to see. Well, my son said when he stepped out and turned and looked at the barn and then looked back at him, my son said he started shooting at him. And when he was shooting at him, he was stepping backwards and he continued to shoot at him. Well, my son said he shot about 3 times and he said this thing just fell straight over. He said not to its knees, it just fell straight over. Well, my son said he started stepping back really, really quick because he was a good distance away from the house. And I heard nothing. I didn't hear any gunshots, nothing. Well, then he said he started running backwards and he was shooting at the thing. And then he said the thing started running towards him. So he was running backwards and he was shooting at it. And as he was coming up the apple orchard, he was thinking about the gate. How am I going to get across the gate? Well, as he was shooting and turning and trying to run and shoot at this thing, he said all of a sudden he heard coyotes. And in the apple orchard and the road that takes you towards the barn, across the fence, there's the main road. And he said he was almost to the fence and the thing turned, looked towards the main road, and then ran across the fence and went up into the national forest. Well, he said he never made it across that gate so fast. He was so scared. Well, he said he made it across the gate and he come in the house, and by that time I was awake. And like I said, I heard nothing. He come in and he was so upset. He's like, Mama, I just seen Bigfoot. I just seen Bigfoot down at the barn. And he said, give me a pen and piece of paper. I want to write down what I seen. I wish I could find that picture. I'd post it for y'all. It was so scary looking. He drew the truck and the creature picking out behind it. And he was writing everything down. And for a couple weeks, because like I said, my son loves to hunt. He loves to fish. One day I watched him and he was standing out behind the house in the small apple orchard we had. And he was just looking at the woods, And I went up there and I was like, son, what's wrong? He's like, Mama, he's like, there's something in these woods.